Hi guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. What I thought to do today is just talk through kind of the summary of last week's training, taking you through a couple of clips through each session on a standard day-to-day basis. I normally do 2 videos per session just to keep consistency and post on Instagram and stuff. So these are those videos from last week's training. So starting with chest and arms for session 1, which was Monday, which I trained today actually. So Atlantis press. These are all like top sets as well. These are all top sets. So making sure that pressing is up to scratch. This session is mainly chest focused, focusing on 2 presses, 2 flies, and then 1 lateral raise, which you'll see in a second, which is my only delt movement for the session, which is this now. So the lateral raise machine, pin loaded, trying to just build the frequency to add to our week of training, pretty much building up the frequency from chest work and shoulder work. So I have 1 delt movement on my chest session and 1 chest movement on my delt session, just to create more volume and add a movement in for both of those days. So again, top set on here, managing to get a good range of motion on this with the stack. Try not to go below this for this session, but yeah. Moving on to Tuesday, which is our back session, pull session, 6 or 7 movements in total for a Tuesday, all focusing on back. So no bicep movements, literally just upper back work, lat work, pull downs, rows, a lot of back movements, focusing on bringing up that thickness that we want for the back. T-bar rows are in, barbell rows are in, some really heavy movements in there. Those are pretty much our 2 heavy movements, like compound movements, that we like to use. And then more accessory movements that we see now, which is the D-handle pull down, which is probably one of my favourite movements actually, just because of the setup. We're using the gym pin bar, as you can see in a minute, which is attached to the D-handles. Quite a wide grip on this, but able to use the D-handles so I can see I've got them slightly turned inwards, so that my wrists are in a comfortable position instead of having them straight on the bar, which is just not comfortable for a pull down, especially when we're trying to use lats and really trying to bend the bar or D-handles around the lats, which is kind of what we want to do, wrap the elbows around. It's a really good movement. 2 working sets on this one, back off. Again, doing it on this cable stack and trying to just increase load where possible, but really just focusing on execution and squeeze more than anything. Rest day is Wednesday, so this is Thursday, the delts and arm session. This is my 2nd heavy press for the day, after doing standing dumbbell lateral raises, slightly leaned inwards, and then the Smith machine, which you can see behind me, that was kind of like my first compound movement for the day, and this is my 2nd, you can call it accessory, but I like to think of it as another compound heavy press movement for the day, before we go into the accessory movements, which were some lateral movements, and then, like I said at the start of this, one chest movement as well. So plate loaded, really good, converges at the top so you can really get a good squeeze in the delts, and then we finish with 1 bicep movement and 1 tricep movement. This is our first arm movement for the day, single arm preacher curl, using the fat grips as well, just to make it that bit harder. and put all that focus on the bicep instead of using wrist and forearms. You know, when the handles are too thin, you begin to really start to squeeze the handle. So just trying to take any tension I can off the forearm and wrist and hand, the better. So I can put it all on the bicep, and you know, doing this unilateral as well. So being able to get full stretching and traction and a full range of motion is kind of the aim with this one. You know, pushing in with that other hand on the pad, and really just trying to put emphasis on squeeze. And then Friday is our arms day. So yes, we did just train arms on Thursday, but it was only one movement each, so it's really not going to cause any sort of DOMs or fatigue to the biceps. They kind of recover quite well. Again on here, 3 movements for biceps, 3 movements for triceps. This was my first tricep movement, the compound, push up bench, Smith machine. A very, very slight incline on that, nothing too bad. Tricep movement, and then just film one bicep movement as well. Our first bicep movement, which was a single arm dumbbell curl. As you can see, I'm kind of leaned, standing outwards on this. The dumbbell's not straight. It's, if you can see in the mirror, it's kind of like faced outwards. Just trying to isolate the bicep even more than I would if you were to curl inwards with the hammer curl. 3 sets on here, a 10 to 12, 6 to 9, and a 15 to 20. Just running the rack pretty much, using 3 different dumbbells, 3 different weights. Just trying to create some volume and push the blood in as much as possible before going on to our last 2 bicep movements. And then to finish the week, we have leg day. Probably my favourite session ever. I've always just enjoyed legs since I started seeing some good growth in my legs. It's become one of my favourite sessions. So pretty much starting with hamstrings on this. We did calf raises beforehand, lying leg curl for second movement in. Hack squat was third, leg press was fourth, which you'll see in a minute. Then we have leg extension, so another accessory after our compounds, and then adductors to finish. Really, really good session. Really enjoyed this session. Just being able to progress and put a lot of force and tension on hamstrings and quads, hitting them as maximally as we can. Pretty much 1 to 2 top sets, 1 back off on everything. And then into this the hip press this was the first time using this hip press. So just trying to see what I could do on here, make a set baseline numbers, and put us in a good position to progress this week, which will be our second time on the leg press. So actually really enjoy this. It really hits that upper quad that you don't really get from many other leg presses, I find, because you're so like compact in the seat. It's very hard to move and do anything else but do the movement, if that makes sense. You see how compact I am in there. Knees are pretty much on my chest, and that's a range of motion you want, though. You know, taking it all the way in, getting a good stretch down the whole quad, and then pressing out. You know, really hits teardrops. Really hits, like I said, upper quad, full quad stretch, like I said. So this was kind of just to finish our last compound for legs before going into leg extension and adductors to finish. And that's kind of it. That is the week of training summary. I'm sure I'll do one of these again soon, but this is where we're at pretty much in the off-season growing phase. I will do more training videos, definitely. I just kind of wanted to get a summary because I had all these videos on the camera roll, so thought I'd get them up and just talk through the week of training. So a good week of training. This is how pretty much every week looks like. consistent, trying to stay on top of the numbers and just tick boxes really. So rinse and repeat this week, get on with another week, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the watch. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers guys.